This is Nier Automata on Xbox One X, which is bringing a 4K resolution and HDR support for one beautiful adventure. So this game is very interesting. So apparently we're getting a 1920 by 2160 sort of resolution with improvements on the visuals all around the board. I'm not too technical in that regard, but you're welcome to search that further. So this is one stunning game. It's very interesting, not only in terms of the actual gameplay, but the lore and sort of the story that follows it. We play as these androids for the glory of mankind, and yeah, we're sent to Earth on these missions because Earth's been taken, it's been destroyed while the humans hide on Earth, or not on Earth, on the moon. And yeah, we come and we sort of fight the battles, and we're fighting these machines, and these machines seem to be coming, or at least exhibiting, certain human elements, such as like speech patterns or activities, almost as if they're breaking down in that regard. So here we are at a resistance camp before we go out and sort of explore. Levels are mostly linear, but the world itself is very open in allowing you to freely kind of move through it as you go from place to place. So this is just the first playthrough. What makes Nier so interesting is that this is a game that you have to play multiple times in order to get the full story. You have to go over and over again in order to get the full picture. So I hope there's nothing too spoilerish in this portion of it, but it is all very mysterious, and you have to replay it, again, like I was saying, multiple times in order to get the full story. Oh no. We get a very large, open, beautiful world. Now, it's not perfect visually. I mean, there are some like loading and little pockets of things where they don't quite work, but when you're actually going into missions and you're doing things, it runs quite flawlessly, and it's smooth, and the frame rate is just fluid, and the whole thing just looks gorgeous. I mean, look at that. And then you also have the music behind it, which is stunning. It's just one beautiful adventure, and it gets cooler and cooler the more you play it, as far as you continue along, because you're getting more context into the story. I guess you got a quick menu with the back where you can use items, change equipment. We got the general things here. We got a map that you can kind of move through and traverse through and kind of get an idea of that. Quests, you can only save in certain areas, which is a bit odd, but it works. All your different items, different weapons that you can upgrade, enhance. Skills you can plug in and upgrade, all kinds of different things. There's tons of intel, so you really got to read the backstory behind everything in order to have a full understanding of the lore. This is a very complex game. It's easy to follow in that you're kind of going along with it, but if you're not really looking into things, you're not going to get the full picture, and that's why you have to play it multiple times, because new things sort of develop as you're going through it. It's very, very interesting in that regard, and this is just one stunning release. And I did say the full title right. This is Nier Automata Become as God's Edition on Xbox One X, and it's all enhanced and everything. He just jumps down. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I think that was a glitch. Anyways, so yeah, we're going down, going to explore this area, and there's different terrains and biomes and places that you explore, and you're kind of getting more context as to what is going on, and it's very mysterious and interesting if you really read into it and try to get the full picture of it, because this is a series that's a lot longer than this one. I mean, you can play it entirely as a standalone and you're not going to really miss out on the key points that it's trying to convey, but there is a whole backstory set up to this through a couple different games, a different series. It's very interesting in that regard. Oh no, we can't get in. But yeah, it's just a very stunning experience with combat that feels really good. It looks cool, looks really cool, and is a mix too. I've never really seen a game that changes what you're looking at all the time, and I mean that in the sense that when you're moving around, the screen perspective is constantly changing and evolving. I don't know, this one. So, one time it'll be, kind of over the top, and then it'll be a side perspective, and it's just your camera angle is constantly changing as you're playing. and you're getting all these different styles of gameplay. Like sometimes you're in mechs and you're flying around shooting things, and then you're in a jet mode. And I was just very, very surprised and impressed by the level of detail there. Whoa! And the particle effects are gorgeous. That's cool. I think it's it's definitely a surprising release. Like, I've heard nothing but great things, obviously, about it, but finally being able to jump into it on here, in the best console experience, it's great. And it all plays well, and it handles well. I haven't really had any problems that I would say are, bad for the gameplay. It's just been a really interesting time. There's also, like, a whole battle station, and then there's the dynamic between these two characters, and you really gotta play it to understand what's happening and like the story behind it, because it gets really interesting as it continues to evolve and change in the places you visit. Whoa. And it's just one interesting story. Like, I don't know how to truly describe it properly, just seeing everything unravel. Because it might seem like short, but you have to, again, keep playing it just to understand everything. It's neat in that regard. Cool, so we've got this going on. Hey, how you doing? Oh, and then there's like a network thing where you can see kind of dead bodies on the ground. You can repair them and have them fight with you. You can retrieve them. And they'll give you like items and stuff. It's really neat. I think we're getting a bit of more of an epic soundtrack here. And yeah, like I was saying, it's very interesting because you're seeing all these weird things going on, and you're not necessarily going to understand what's, the events and everything until you get going through it. And it's just a very enchanting visual experience. The combat is good, it's balanced to whatever, skill level and everything like that.
This gate isn't going to open. Maybe there's another way around.
There's always another way around. I don't know, I'm like very, very blown away by it, and I'm having a great time. I love the characters too, they're so weird looking, but yet really neat. Got these like really tricked out characters running around with swords, slicing things up. I think it's interesting. And right here, we're getting a good look at that, like the camera style changing. I don't know. I find that really different, because games don't really do that too much. Like, you'll get a different perspective at times, but this one really plays around with it to fun ways. And you're always like collecting items, and then you can craft things and get better and buy things at the market. And there's like fast travel points too that you can get, and save points that you'll come across and use. Whoa.
We're getting resistance signals from that building over there.
And that's where we'll head. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that this segment would be a little bit more combat filled to show that off, but I don't really want to kill these robots if I don't have to. I don't see a point in it. This is cool. Again, seeing the different camera angles at play here. I want that chest. Okay. That is so neat. And then I find sliding moves the best, but whatever. Anyways, I really think this is a very distinct experience. Just trying to like discover what's going on in this, being amazed by it, finding the combat really smooth and awesome looking and filled with particle effects and different combat styles, and you can like
These machines are
shoot,
totally armed. We'll regret it later if
two,
we
you
let
can
them
do all
escape.
kinds of things.
So let's take them out.
Now you're gonna see that in action right here. Hey robots, and you get these little particle bubbles, and that's kind of like, gameplay kind of stays the same as you move through it, in the sense that very certain aspects will always be there, like bubbles that you can shoot and move. They're sort of directive across whether you're firing in mechs or you're out on the battlefield doing stuff. They are definitely a part of just the gameplay in general. As you can see, I've been taking damage, so I can just quickly use my ability to get back into it. I'm supposed to be dodging a bit more, so I gotta take advantage of that. But yeah, you can like generally shoot those things and then move them out of the way. I don't know, I just find it very interesting. Oh, I wanted to use that person there. Okay, that was not cool. I was trying to save a life. But yeah, like, gameplay really is dependent on what kind of style you want to do. Like, I like to sit back in this one and do a kind of a distance approach. You can also set your little assistant there to also do something similar in that regard. You know, whether you want them to be passive or aggressive, passive-aggressive, you know. Or you can do, like, range attack. Potions can do all kinds of things, like make your melee more intense. You can also go up there and melee fight like this guy is. Now, I hope we actually did have to blow that up, because I was just like firing around like a maniac at the beginning just to show off the abilities.
Analysis. It is a core fragment from the machine life form. It is similar in structure to a plant cell.
A plant cell?
Crazy. Oh look, my friendly spider's going across the ground. Anyways, you're kind of getting an action here. Just like, it does run really well, and it looks really cool, and it's a lot of fun to play. Especially if you like those really different stories. And I like how it's not too overly difficult, as these types of games can be.
What's this?
Analysis. It is a device that propels humans on rails at high speeds for the purposes of amusement. It
Sounds
is
exciting.
commonly referred to as a roller coaster.
Humans sure are strange creatures.
Why would you ask that question? We literally created you. Oh, whatever. Well, yeah, I won't go into details on it.
People who know me well usually call me Nines. So what do you think? I mean, if you want to call me Nines,
Call
it's
me.
totally okay. Oh,
I mean, like,
alright.
look at this. It's just crazy how the gameplay styles change so much. It really is just such an interesting game. I think you're really missing out if you don't actually jump in on this one and experience it, because it's such a interesting narrative, interesting combative game. Whoa! Ho, I did not see that coming. Cutting up this guy. That is so cool. And down we go. Oh, this is not good.
Alert. Multiple resistance members detected beneath this room.
So yeah, it's like a network thing where there's like actual P layers that perish and stuff. It's interesting. Whoa! Creepy kids at the park. Anyways, that's Nier Automata Become as God's Dish in Xbox One X. It looks great, it plays well, it's a beautiful experience that really, I think, will have a longevity to it in terms of being something that you can play over and over and over again, and that it'll be talked about for a long time just based on the style of the narrative. And I really do think it's accessible for any type of player to actually get into and enjoy.